intriguing actually, and I think everybody wants to know about cards, especially in Vegas. Am I going to win or am I going to lose? But this is not about that. This is about who you are, what you are, and maybe kind of where you're going. And it could be to the gambling tables, it could not. Let me introduce Reverend Thabiti.
Yes.
And Thabiti, to be or not to be?
Thabiti or not?
Thabiti
Thabiti or not Thabiti, right.
Now you're probably all intrigued as of what is next to me. And this is not unusual for Vegas, is it? So this is truly, truly a kind of a Vegas thing, which could be, but no, only because of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got all these lovely cards up here, and I've noticed we've got these three up here, and then we've got the hearts, and they belong to down here, and I'm wondering why these are down here, not up there.
That's a very good question.
Well, I want the answer.
Well, I'll give you the answer. First, I should say, though, that, well, starting here, I have the cards laid out in sequential order,
Yes.
going in this direction.
Yes, and then
okay, so that we
picking
can
up.
have them all in front of us, right. And then when it gets down here to the end, I put the last three cards up here at the
Yes,
top.
and I was
So that's
fascinated
how-
by that. Yeah, I
that's
was
how that-
fascinated why they
happened.
belonged up there. But what he does is he reads cards. Now, I met this gentleman, Thabiti. I met him a couple of years ago, actually,
Yes.
quite some time now.
Oh, yes, I've known him
Two
a
or
while.
three
Oh,
years.
God, yeah. Right.
And I was fascinated because we're all intrigued of what's going on in our lives. And this is what you do. You actually read through the cards. And apparently, I remember I was the Jack of Clubs.
Yes.
What does the Jack of Clubs mean?
It's the most clever card in the deck. It means mental cleverness and creativity.
That's me.
It means
It's me now.
Yeah, infinite cleverness and creativity.
Really? So that's one of the most prominent cards of the pack.
Oh, it's royal.
It's royal.
It's royal. Okay, so you're a princess in the royal family.
It's getting better as we go on. Keep
as,
moving.
and as with the case of Jacks never grow up.
Oh, they don't.
Jacks remain youthful all the way through their entire life.
So that's what I'm actually 39 and holding, which I tell a lot of people because I want to make sure they really, really know that. But I'm not really. I've just been holding a long time.
Yeah, but you're terminally beautiful, Nina.
Oh, thank you.
You are
Thank you.
terminally
Thank you.
beautiful.
Well, I hope I'm as good inside as on the outside.
Yes, you are.
But I love, and you call yourself the power.
Uh-huh.
Now, what makes you think you have the power?
Well, The Power is my website.
Okay.
Thepower.com, thepower.org. So, I
Okay.
mean, we start with that. Mainly because what I provide is extremely powerful, which is, I provide something called your personal
That's
time
okay.
map.
You don't have to hold it.
Okay.
No.
And
It's fine. It's going to stay there.
Oh, yeah,
I
it is.
promise.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it will.
That's
Believe
good.
me, it will.
That's good. That's good.
I asked it to and it said yes.
Yeah,
That's the power.
Well, that's the power. There you go. Yeah, I provide it's called the personal time map system, which is an interactive birth chart available at the website.
Okay.
The Power, and so it's the time map system integrates our date of birth with universal laws that are structured in the ancient science of playing cards. See, this is an ancient science.
I know that I do know because
Yes.
I remember you telling me last time, but even before that, I know that the cards are they're quite different. Johnny Cash had when he
Or
was
the song.
The song. You know the song.
Yes. Oh,
and he
yes.
has a song about the playing cards, and for each one of them. And for the 12 cards, I mean, he had this whole song.
Oh, yeah.
And if you ever can listen to Johnny Cash's, I forget what it was called, but it's
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
yes, it's the 12 cards. But anyway, it's a whole history about what the cards all mean.
Yes.
It's a whole year.
Everything.
It's a whole month.
Everything.
It's amazing what it is.
Everything.
So this goes into our arena as of a person. You can find out through the cards of who we are, where we're going, and what we are.
Yeah, there's a lot here. Let me just start by saying that no matter where we are in the world,
Yes.
if we walk into a casino, we will see that they're all in agreement around one deck and one deck only. It's not tarot cards.
No.
It's not angel cards.
No.
This is the deck that attracts all the money.
Yes.
This is the deck that attracts.
Just a regular pack
This
of
is
cards.
the casinos do not use tarot cards. They do not use angel cards. They all subscribe to this deck. all
Yes.
casinos, whether
Yes.
it's Australia,
Doesn't matter.
Europe,
All over the world.
all over the world, same
I can
deck.
vouch for that.
Okay, okay. Then the second thing is that this deck of playing cards and how this factors into the time map system that's available at the website is that there's 52 cards in the deck representing the 52 weeks in the year.
That's correct.
Okay, and then these 12 face cards represent our 12 months and the 12 a.m. and the 12 p.m. hours of the day.
Any difference between the AM, and the PM with the color?
No. Only in. All I'm doing is explaining the mathematical correlation between
Okay.
the structure of the deck and the structure of our calendar.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
they work like
They
this.
work hand in hand.
Yes, together.
Okay.
Okay. Then the four suits: hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades represent the four directions of time.
Okay.
In space,
In the four corners of the world.
well, no, there's no
Okay.
four corners.
All right.
It's-
Okay.
it's,
That
it's all round. Yeah, it's all
It's
round.
all round.
Yeah, it's all round. Yeah. But the four directions of space is north, south, east, and west.
That's not what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Right. The
Yes.
four directions of time are: hearts is when we advance emotionally, clubs is when we advance mentally, diamonds is financially, and spades is spiritually. You see, and so what I'm here on Ninon's show to say today is that the real name of the game with these cards is not poker and blackjack.
No.
The real name of the game is to be successful in these four areas: emotionally, mentally, financially, and spiritually.
And that actually forms a person.
Yes. Yes.
That's what we
That's right.
are guiding.
That's right.
Our
That's
guiding
right.
lights,
Right.
whatever
I
we
know.
want.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yes.
I know
yes.
exactly what you mean.
So that's
You're
each
right.
part of us.
That's correct. Well, actually, since you mentioned that, the natural order of the suits is hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades, which actually represents the four seasons of the human life cycle. So when we're born, we spring into hearts, okay, which is our emotional nature. So during this time period, this is when there's someone changing our diapers and feeding us, important attention centers around us if we
Looking
become
after you.
injured or sick. During this season, we learn about the concept of family,
The heart
home.
together.
Right. Here's your grandmom. Here's your aunt Luke. You know, in other words, hearts is the first season.
There was a program on this morning that was talking not about this, but they were talking about when a baby cries.
Yes.
A lot of people say, don't pick the baby up, let the baby cry. Well, that's totally wrong.
That's right.
And what you're saying is no, don't go and pick the baby up. Give the baby the love,
Right.
and then that'll, from your heart, from your being,
Right.
and changing its nappy when it needs it, and giving food when it needs food, and doing all these things that the child needs, because then that forms the child
Of
into
course.
a beautiful, gracious place.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Well, that's from the heart.
That's from the heart. Okay. That's knuckle kiss.
No, okay.
So what happens is first we begin with our parents and
Taking care of you.
with our home and our family, and then we suddenly find ourselves in the classroom. Clubs is the suit that symbolizes our mental nature. So we go from our parents to our teachers, from the home to the classroom, and with this education, we then go out into the world to make money. Okay, diamonds
And we all
is
have
the
to do
next
that.
season. Right, and the way we make money is by establishing value as a merchant who offers a product or service, or we establish value as an employee who is imperative to the successful operation of the business. Then in the final season of the human life cycle, spades represents our health, because what completes the human life cycle is when the health is exhausted.
Spiritual?
Spiritual. Spades is a spiritual direction of time, but in the four seasons of the human life cycle, spades represents the health.
The health.
Yeah, the health, because as we get older, what happens is body parts begin to go bad. And,
Don't remind me.
Yeah, doctor visits, right. That's the spades. That's when people are dealing with more health stuff. Prescription
We seem to
drugs.
be going back to our childhood, back to when we were born. We start to shrivel up, we start to,
right.
we can't remember everything.
Right.
And we're kind of going back to,
Well, what is time? Time is when we start at the 12, and
Yes,
it goes
all the
around,
way around.
and when it returns back, that completes a
That
minute,
come-
an hour,
a
a
day,
day, a week,
year,
a year, right?
many
Right,
years.
but it is the returning back to where you started.
But where you
right,
started
right,
from,
right,
and which
right,
I've
right.
often looked at that, and I often see, although we're bigger in size, but we
Right.
also shrink. We lose inches, and when we shrivel up, and then we can't remember. And it's like we're going back to this, to when we were born, because then we forget things and we can't remember. Because
That's right, that's
and when
right.
you really look at it, and it's like,
Right.
wow, we're going back to where we started.
Right,
And
that's
now you're
interesting.
right,
Right,
because
right.
you're
So
you're
returning.
going, you're actually making that circle.
Yes, like a return to the beginning.
Returning
Return
to the
beginning.
a
Right?
return
There's
to
even spiritual schools that actually teach that. That they teach that whenever you're not knowing if you're coming or going, or at any time
You're confused.
if you're confused, worried, or scared, the teaching says go back to the beginning.
Yes.
Because in the beginning, God. That's right where it says it to be in the beginning, God. So
Now
they
you
say go back
go
to
back
the
the
beginning. Right,
Now
go
you
back to
are
the
Reverend, so
beginning. I am.
you're actually very much into God,
Yes.
and then we're sort of, and this could be confusing to a lot of you out there, but let me just set it straight. Because sometimes cards are not always for the gambling, for the money and everything.
Right.
No money is involved because you've got diamonds. Everybody has to make a living out there.
right.
And if you don't believe it, just go downtown to Las Vegas and have a look at all the homeless that have kind of given up and they are not making money. So you know when you don't make money where you're going to end up.
Sure.
So if you don't have a heart, and then you don't go and learn, and then you don't go and earn money, and you
Right.
forget your spiritual side, you really have nothing.
Right.
So when you look at this, so what I'm trying to say to you, that this is a different way of looking at cards, a completely more of a, I don't want to say a religious way, but sort of, because you're sort of going back to actually what you are.
Well, this is an ancient science.
Yes.
So there's no belief required. There's no belief that factors into this in any way, shape, or form. In other words, the sun's going to rise on time, regardless of whether
Well,
we
you think, what you
believe
think,
it.
who
Right?
you-
There's no
well, yes.
belief required.
No,
You see,
no.
because there are universal laws. For example, I saw in the news today that Bill Gates is now worth $75 billion.
And do you know what he's going to do with it?
Well, I know what he can't do with it. He can't buy one more hour today.
No.
Okay. In
Can't
other
buy
words,
time.
I'm just saying
You cannot
that
buy time.
all that $75 billion, you can't buy one more hour in a day.
And you
You
can't.
see, exactly,
But
because
Do you know what he is doing though?
well, he's doing a lot of charitable work.
But he's doing the
giving-
environment.
yeah,
He's starting the environment. He hasn't started the environment here in America yet. He's actually started it outside of America, and it is working. What he's doing,
Yeah.
and it's costing billions. But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the type of guy that's turning around. What am I going to do with all my money if I can't? And he's always wants to help the world.
I believe he's pledged to give most of it away.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
when he dies.
Yes, I think he doesn't. You know,
Yeah,
obviously when he dies, he doesn't need it.
Yeah,
but-
he made that pledge with a few
Yes.
of the others. out
Yes,
there.
yeah, but he's always been a good guy, and
Yeah.
some people have knocked him and not knocked him, whatever the case may be.
Oh,
There's always
God,
people out there
yeah.
that do that anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So what made you go into this? What was your calling when you went into this to actually do this?
Well, in college, I majored in physics and I minored in comparative religions.
Okay.
And so I studied physics because I love to fix things. But before you can fix something, you have to first understand how does it operate. And so physics teaches how the universe operates and then how to explain it mathematically.
So you were fascinated.
Then I minored in comparative religions, and that's what led to this. In other words, while I was studying Buddhism and Islam and the different sects of Christianity and Hinduism, I became more interested in not how the religions were different, but where do they agree. And so what
Interesting.
So
Where they agree.
where they agreed. And so what kept coming up for me, Ninon, was the word truth. The Bhagavad Gita, which is the Hindu scripture, says, the truth is triumphant and always prevails in the end. The Holy Quran says the truth is eternal and everlasting. The Holy Bible says the truth will set you free. You see, so I realized, well, wait a
I
minute.
had the same thing.
I said, wait a minute, then it's not religion that I seek. Where does one find this truth that they're all talking about?
And everybody, yeah.
So at that moment, I became a self-proclaimed truth seeker. Okay, I'm a truth
love
seeker.
it. I
And so
love that.
what happened was, as a truth seeker, I stumbled into a high stakes poker game. Okay, it was high stakes.
Here comes the truth.
Hey, according to my wallet, that was high stakes. Okay, very, very high stakes. So anyway, after losing all of my chips, okay, after losing all, this guy's raking this big pile of chips to himself.
But what makes him?
And what he said was, "Well, the cards don't lie." And as a truth seeker, that was the most profound thing I'd ever heard in my life.
Wow.
And so I decided to do an investigation. You know, this was the stone that was left unturned. And to my amazement, when I saw the mathematical correlation between the cards in our calendar, remember, I'm a physics major,
Yes.
a student of Einstein.
Yes.
Albert Einstein is most famous for proving the relationship between time and space.
Yes.
It's called the law of relativity, or E equals mc squared. What that simply means is, wherever you are, there's always the time you're there. Where you are, that's called a map of the United States. When you are, that's what this provides at the website, thepower.com.
So what am I doing in Vegas?
You're doing what's called your divine assignment.
I am.
Yeah, you're doing what's called your divine assignment. Yeah, because what you have is, you have been spiritually blessed with gifts and talents.
Okay.
And not so that you could keep it all to yourself.
No, I
You
don't
see,
want
so
to.
you do things like this, and what you're doing is you're showcasing people, and you're provoking an upward shift in consciousness with everybody that comes in contact with your show. That's why you're in this, in my opinion.
Do you know, that's amazing, and I'm listening to it, I'm getting a gasp about her, and we're going to invite another young lady on here. Christine Barr's going to come on in a little while. But I've always been one for sharing. And the strangest thing is that people that have come around me, they've always prospered. And I always try to, without doing it, but I always see where they could do better. And I see this within them. And I see a lot of people with their insecurity, and I see where they're sort of, you know, they feel insecure with themselves, and then a whole bunch of stuff happens. And I look at that and sort of get rid of all that. And you can do it just the same as anybody else. Because everybody is everybody is very similar.
Okay.
It's just we do it all in different degrees.
Sure.
That's all it is. I mean, just because somebody is a multimillionaire and somebody is poor, that doesn't make this person better than this person.
Okay.
They're still people.
Right.
We're still people.
Right.
Maybe they're happy where they are down here.
Right.
Maybe they're not happy where they are. I know a lot of multimillionaires that are not happy.
Right.
A lot of them. But still, because they have something within them that whatever they achieve, they've never achieved enough. So they have to go out and achieve more. And sometimes it's not to do with the money. It's to do with how they feel about wanting, I haven't achieved enough, I haven't done it right, or I've got to do it again.
Sure.
And they have millions, and people say, well, why don't they just relax and spend it all and have a good time? Because that's not within their makeup. That's not within them. Am I right?
Yeah, I could not agree more.
So on that, I'm going to close out, and then we're going to come back. We're having a fabulous time with this board. I just love it. This is like, you know, the blackjack and all the whole bit and everything else, but it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but very attention-getting. Cards are very attention-getting.
But when they see the cards, especially when they see things like this, you know, they love all this stuff. You know, this means they've won.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be right back with Christine Barr.
Christine Barr.
Welcome back to Vegas Live. I'm Ninon, and of course this is fascinating to me, as well as I hope everybody else out there, so don't tune out, tune in. Okay, we're down at the Peppermill, down on Las Vegas Boulevard, amazing down here. They are actually our sponsors, and Thabiti is quite a fascinating man. And before we started the show, the last half, my social media young lady, Christine, I called you Barbara. Gosh, you don't look like a Barbara. Hey, how about Christine Barr? You're fascinated with what he's up to and what he's doing. So now I'm fascinated as to what he's going to find out about Christine, because I know Christine quite well. So let's see how all this works. Now, when was your birthday? I'm going to ask the first question. When were you born? Your birthday?
So my birthday is October 1st.
October 1st. So what is she?
Her birth card's the 8 of diamonds.
Oh, you're a diamond.
Yeah, eight of diamonds. Yeah, eight of diamonds.
Now, what does all that mean?
Well, as you know, when we went through the cards,
yes.
right, looking at the correlation between the structure of the deck and the calendar, The one thing we left out is every day of the year there's a card mathematically assigned to it. So anyone watching can go to the website, thepower.com.
Thepower.com, that's his website.
Yeah, The Power.
Is that the power?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Thepower.com.
Right,
Okay.
thepower.org, thepower.com, same stuff, okay? There you can look up anyone's birthday for free, including yourself, and see what your birth card is.
Okay.
And so our birth card serves two functions. One is that card describes personality characteristics about us that explain why we are the way we are. Okay. So that answers the proverb of know thyself.
To thine thyself be true.
Well, know
Know yourself.
thyself. Right. So what happens is your birth card describes personality characteristics explaining why you are the way you are. It talks about how you operate on a subconscious level. It talks about what are your passions and wants, what drives you and makes you tick, what areas are you expanding and growing.
Makes Christine? What is what?
Well,
so what do you come up
Christine
with?
She's an eight of diamonds, okay?
Yes.
And so diamonds is the suit that symbolizes our values.
Yes.
So this means that Christine is a values-centered person. Okay, so when I say when I say values, you got to understand that value is the basis of importance,
Okay.
and then
Yes.
importance is the basis of priority. You see, so our priorities are ultimately rooted in our
So
values.
what is our priority as of when?
Well, yeah. In other words, for Christine, Christine is an eight of diamonds. The eight of diamonds is the sun card, okay, which means that it sits in the sun position on a configuration called the grand solar spreads. Okay, but back to eight of diamonds. The eight means power. It's the symbol of infinity, and it means power. Okay, so eight of diamonds people are shining people. Dolly Parton is an eight of diamonds. Michael Jordan is an eight of diamonds.
Oh, okay.
Michael J. Fox is an eight of diamonds. Lonnie Anderson is an eight of diamonds. The eight of diamonds people, they're shining people.
Well, I'm going to tell you something which is so true, because
Okay.
she is a shining person.
Yes.
Her father is actually the ballroom champion of the world, and he also is twice or three times the champion for training other dancers.
Top coach in the United States.
Top of the
wow.
United States.
Wow, that's amazing.
And her father are the champion of the world for father and daughter.
Right, so in 2011, actually, it's coming up on March 20th, we became world champion in rhythm in 2011.
Very
2011. So she does have that charisma. She has that out there. So
well,
that's
Christine.
that will let you know how true that is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, in other words, if we were going to take your whole life, your entire life, and if we were just to summarize it into a few words, it would be power, eight in values, diamond. Okay, now, because you're an eight of diamonds, this means that finding compatibility is going to be a little bit more difficult for you.
Oh, she has that problem.
That is true.
Okay, the reason for
What's the
that,
reason?
yeah, the reason is because you are going to end up, in most cases, being too much for the guy that you're, and it's not your fault. In other words, you're an eight. Eight is a symbol of infinity. It means power. You're not backing down to anybody.
Right.
In fact, your comfort zone is directly proportional to how much in control you feel. Okay, the more in control you are, right, the more in control you are, the more comfortable you are. Now, I'm not saying that compatibility is impossible, but it does say in one of my books that for the eight of diamonds female, it's almost normal for them to end up with at least one divorce. Okay, and
She has to get married first.
right.
Get divorced.
And I'm not saying, and in any way that you're destined or doomed
Right,
to
right,
it.
right, right.
I'm just saying that's normal mostly for female 8 of diamonds than any other card.
So how can she kind of change that? Because it's funny you should say this,
Right.
because she's brought it up to me. She
Right.
says to me, Ninon, she would love to be married. And I
Yes.
understand that she would love to be married, like to have a guy and the whole bit. So,
Oh yeah,
you know.
that's not going to be a problem. Yeah.
I'm just gonna have multiple marriages. Is
No,
what
no,
he's
no, no, no,
telling
no, no, actually, I'm not saying that either. See, here's what I am saying. Your life is the result of the choices you make and direction you take. This very second, right now, is the accumulative result of every previous choice we've ever made, including the choice to be
Right
watching
now.
this program. Right. So what's going to happen next is going to follow that same rule. So what's going to, your future now is going to be determined by the direction you take or the choices you make. So now with this time map system, what you're able to do is you're able to look before you leap. You see, because in this birth chart system, beyond its profound truthfulness, reliability, and accuracy, there's a world-exclusive feature that comes with it, which is the people who are in your life, who get the most of your time and attention, are all located and identified on your chart by their birthday, along with the experience that's happening from your point of view. Okay, so what this means is that you're not going to go in the direction of the people and things that don't support what you seek to accomplish. And then because of that same feature that I just outlined, that means that you can look at that person's time map, and then you'll enter October 1st, your birthday, and then that's going to locate you on their chart, which means that now you can see yourself from their point of view, giving you a superior advantage over that situation. Plus, when you read my book, okay, called All About You, the 8 of Diamonds chapter. I'm going to comp you the book, by the way. The 8 of Diamonds chapter lets you know what are your most compatible birthdays, so that way you're not
There we go.
Because she really does. She loves,
Right,
like all of us. I
I'll
want
look
to
out
get
for you.
married, and
I will look out.
everybody wants to get married. And sometimes you can get in your own way of not trying to get married or trying to
Right.
find something. Because I don't think we ever really try to do that.
No.
There's probably some people do, but on that you now have a little better picture of what you should do
Yes.
to get what you want.
Right.
It's true.
On that, we have to close the show. You know, we've been really running
Oh, so
rapid
fun.
here, and this has been amazing.
Thank you, Ninon, for having me on your show, Ninon. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you, Ninon.
How cool is that? Wow, I'm having them every day. Thank you for
Nice
watching
to meet you.
Vegas
Thank
Live. We'll
you.
be right back.